Now we want to look at the end behavior of a polynomial function just by looking at its equation. So here we have f of x equals negative 3x to the sixth. So to begin with, we'll take a look at the left-hand side of the graph, which means as x approaches negative infinity, we want to see what happens to the function. So when it says as x approaches negative infinity, what we want to do is evaluate the function f of x at maybe a large negative number. So let's try negative 100 or negative 1000. So go ahead and substitute negative 100 in for x to the sixth, or in for x, and see what you get. So hopefully you saw that substituting negative 100 in for x gave you a really big positive number, and then multiply that large positive number by negative 3 to get a really large negative number. So that indicates that as x approaches negative infinity, when you substitute a negative number for x, you get the resulting large negative number for the function, which means f of x approaches negative infinity. On the right-hand side, we look as x approaches positive infinity. We want to see what the function does, f of x approaches. So in this case, we'll substitute maybe something like 1000 or 100. Let's go for 200 this time. So substituting a positive number in, a large positive number in for x, and computing. Go ahead and do that. So hopefully you saw that substituting 200 in for x to the sixth power gives you a large positive number, and then taking that positive number, multiplying by negative 3, gave you a negative number again. And so that means as x approaches positive infinity, when you put in a large positive number, the function became more and more negative, so that means f of x approaches negative infinity. And graphically, to remind you, this means on the left-hand side, the graph is opening downwards, and on the right-hand side, the graph is also opening downwards. Negative infinity for x means the left-hand side. F of x approaching negative infinity means opening downwards. As x approaches positive infinity means on the right-hand side, f of x approaches negative infinity means that the graph shoots downward. So let's try this one with your neighbor, looking for the end behavior for g of x equals 4x to the fifth, and describing it using this notation. So here's what I came up with. As I substituted a large number, positive number for x here to the fifth power, that became positive, times positive 4 became positive, which gives a right-hand side end behavior of f of x approaches positive infinity. When you substitute a negative number in for x, a negative number to the fifth power is a negative number, times 4 gives you a negative number as well, and so the end behavior is f of x approaches negative infinity. So graphically, this would be opening downward on this side and opening upward on that side. Okay, to wrap things up, I want the left-hand person to determine the end behavior of this graph, and the right-hand person to determine the end behavior of this function here. So here's what I came up with for h of x equals negative 2x to the seventh. There's the end behavior on the left-hand side. There's the end behavior on the right-hand side. And for j of x equals 15x to the 10th, there's the behavior on the left-hand side, and here's the end behavior on the right-hand side.